My name is Justin Harwell. This presentation is on the importance of subsistence activities in Kodiak, Alaska. First, just in case someone doesn't know, I want to go over what subsistence is. So generally, subsistence refers to the action or process of obtaining and providing basic necessities such as, food, water, shelter, and clothing through the direct use of natural resources. Examples of this are activities like hunting, fishing, farming, or gathering. In some areas, subsistence is a way of life where individuals and communities rely on these activities for survival rather than the standard commercial systems. There are many reasons why a community might want to participate in subsistence activities. In the case of Kodiak, the location is a huge contributing factor. So Kodiak can be considered remote. Being an island located approximately 250 miles from Anchorage or 14 hours from Homer by ferry, due to factors like distance and bad weather, it can be unreliable and expensive to get goods from mainland Alaska to Kodiak. So, what many consider standard conveniences in an urban environment can be more costly or less available due to this isolation. So, for example, in a report done on the economic trends in Alaska, the cost of gas in Kodiak is $4.77 per gallon, and heating oil is $4.74 per gallon. Meanwhile, if you look somewhere like here in Fairbanks, Fairbanks gas is approximately $3.59 per gallon, and heating oil is $4.53. Or in Homer, gas is $3.59 per gallon, and heating oil $4.75. So that same report also covered median monthly housing costs in Alaska. It covered from 2018 to 2023. In it, Kodiak was rated at $1,636 per month, while Fairbanks rated at $1,411 per month. So continuing this, I also looked at the cost of food. Uh, Most reliable way for me to tell a direct difference was I looked at Safeway and I looked at the exact same products. So in Fairbanks, package of ground beef was $7.99 per pound, while chicken was $4.49 per pound, milk was $4.39 a gallon, and eggs were $6.49 a dozen. Now looking at Kodiak, ground beef was $8.99 a pound, chicken was $4.49 a pound, milk was $4.69 a gallon, and eggs were $6.89 a dozen. So while everything is not too much more expensive, there's definitely a slight increase in everyday life. And that increase adds up. This is where things like subsistence activities come into play. If items like food in a grocery store are at a high cost, then you can replace those goods with things like deer, salmon, or vegetables that you harvest yourself. The money saved then can be put towards things like housing, fuel, or put into a savings account. Essentially, you have excess income for things you can't easily replace with solely subsistence means. When talking about subsistence, Kodiak's location becomes a boon. The island of Kodiak is very biodiverse, being host to many different types of animals. The common animals targeted for hunting are caribou, deer, elk, goat, ptarmigan, and waterfowl. You also have fur animals such as red foxes, martens, and river otters, which are also harvested. So another benefit that to the location is, as I mentioned before, Kodiak is an island. With Kodiak being an island, they have access to lots of different species to pick from in the ocean. These species range from halibut, salmon, rockfish, and even some crustaceans like crab. So You may be asking yourself, why does it matter? Does anyone actually do this? And the answer to that is yes. So it's hard to track the exact amount of each resource that people actually take for subsistence use. It's a bit complicated, but subsistence is managed by both state and federal authorities, making it a bit hard to navigate the data. And some people take resources for subsistence off of sport licenses and permits. So the resources um, I chose them because they tend to encompass all different sides of them. So what's harvested? There's a wide variety of resources in Kodiak. And while every year varies, harvest of some kind can be counted upon as a reliable source of food. For hunting, deer are harvested the most. From 2012 to 2021, there was a total of 253 deer reported as harvested for federal subsistence permits. Now, during the same period, the Alaska Department of Fish and Game shows an average of 4,758 deer harvested per year. And then after deer, elk are the next most sought after species. Also, from 2012 to 2021, there's a total of 12 elk reported as harvested for the federal subsistence permits. And this includes all those years. So obviously the number is a lot less than deer. But the Alaska Department of Fish and Game shows a total of 233 elk harvested from 2013 to 2021. So while hunting is an important resource, fishing is arguably the more important resource in Kodiak, largely due to the location, as I mentioned before. Um, in 2012, there was an estimated 28,159 salmon caught by subsistence and personal use fishermen, which is approximately 140,795 pounds. In 2014, there's approximately 71,538 pounds of halibut harvested for subsistence use. So the resources available in Kodiak are far more than what I cover in this brief presentation. The ones that I mentioned are the main ones with quantifiable data, and they're the ones that I think have the most impact on the people of Kodiak. If you want to look into this subject yourself, I recommend looking at the Alaska Department of Fish and Game. They tend to have a lot of good resources on this. Well, thank you for watching. Have a good day.